Welcome to our May 2009 edition of AdCast. My name is Nick Lorden.
And I'm Celeste Porter, and we are now going to be speaking with Griffin from 22squared, and we're going to talk to him about his agency and some of the innovative ways that they've worked on proposals and so forth with different clients. Welcome, Griffin.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You are a senior brand strategist over there. Can you just give us a quick download or upload on what that is?
What that's all about?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if my mom really knows what
that's
all about. Brand planning was started in the 80s, and or at least it came to the U.S. in the 80s, and it was really a new way to look at research for an ad agency. So typically you had a researcher who just kind of showed up with a lot of numbers and a lot of data, but not really a lot of ideas of how that would make a better commercial or a better campaign. Mm-hmm. So this discipline kind of brings in the idea of looking at research and looking at the consumer's point of view a little bit differently. So if you think about boardroom, the creative represents the big idea, account management represents the client, and account planning kind of represents the consumer at the boardroom.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So bringing all that together ideally makes a better campaign.
Cool. Can you give us an example of how maybe something that you researched, something that you did kind of was counterintuitive and totally worked?
Yeah. Well, something recently we did with CBSSports.com. We just picked up their fantasy football account.
Wow.
And we kind of we did some research with guys, and especially people who are just new to fantasy football. And what was really interesting to us as planners was that a lot of these people were getting into fantasy football not because they were stat geeks or not because they're huge football fans, but because they're 28, they've kind of lost that collegiate feel in their life. They've lost connection to that group of friends that they had in college, in the fraternity, and fantasy football allowed them to have that collegiate feel again.
Whoa.
So our big idea on the brief was CBS Sports is a great place to tear your friends apart. And come together and make fun of each other, and and we'd rather have that camaraderie and that type of experience than be the fantasy football place that has the best celebrity athletes, speaking for the brand, or has the best stats. We know we have all that.
I saw that you guys did something very unique recently in regards to an online focus group that you utilized. Could you tell us a little bit about what you did? Yeah, well,
Current TV is kind of a hidden cable channel that was a brand that was started by Al Gore in 2004. And 30% of their content is user-generated content. So they have a lot of their content in the network is in pods, so they're in 6 to 8 minute segments, and they have a lot of really cool hipster stuff and really innovative nonprofits and activists and just things that people wanted to hear, and they had the really neat part of their brand was tying it back to a website. So people could upload their own content onto this website and vote on it, and then if it got to a certain level, it got on air, type thing.
Okay.
So the premise behind this assignment was this company in itself, and they had a new VP of brand strategy come on, and he did something really innovative from a new business standpoint, which was send out a Twitter RFP. So he sent out just a regular tweet saying, hey, I'm looking for a full service agency to work on current TV, and here's a link to some more details. And it went out to the entire country, and the more details talked about how he kind of had a list of 5 agencies that he thought he wanted to approach and work on his brand. But there are a lot of agencies that he's never heard of and that he's never worked with, and so he wants them to kind of prove that they know something about social media and that they should be a good fit with the Current TV brand.
What did 22squared do?
Well,
because you guys had a good success.
Yeah, we had a team of 5 people kind of get together, and our social media strategist in Atlanta, a guy named Chris Tuff, came up with the idea of doing something with Ustream.tv, some sort of live streaming, content that we could work with. Our strategy director here, Brandon Murphy, came up with the idea of a live brainstorm. And then I used an ARG tactic, or alternate reality game tactic, to kind of promote it, which was a countdown clock. So on Friday, we kind of set up a video camera. We got our Ustream account set up, and we just had a countdown clock counting down to a current /22squared live brainstorm. We never told the client that we're going to do anything. We just said, hey, we're going to open this up to anyone that wants to participate. We're going to talk about Current TV's problems and challenges and opportunities, and then we'll submit a response from that. Well, within an hour, the client actually got on to the site and said, hey, I'll be there.
Right.
So we're like, oh, okay, great. Now we really have to do something good.
The pressure was on.
People are writing, people are going to see this. Adweek did an article on Friday mentioning our name, that we're going to have this live brainstorm. So we kind of felt like the whole industry was, at least, had an opportunity to kind of watch what we did and see our moderating skills and all the type of stuff from a focus group standpoint.
How was the moderating skills?
Well, it's a real challenge to moderate a 250-person live brainstorm, and that we found out we had a decent size of people live in our living room, about 30 people. And then I think at our peak we had about 220 people sign in on Twitter or on the Ustream chat, and just submit their ideas about Current and stuff.
Phone started ringing.
It was from a PR perspective, yeah, it was good, and we were one of the 17 agencies that he picked, and it's a good group of people that we're up against. We're up against Shy Day, Marnista, BBH, McCann Erickson. There's AdCast, Cole McVoy. There's a lot of really good agencies.
So you're amongst the big people.
Yeah, and what's really great, and I think really interesting from a Tampa Bay perspective, is this tweet went out and it allowed any agency anywhere to participate, at any size, and the client even talked about that. And when he was interviewed, was that he wanted an even playing field for this brand, and he got a lot of thinking from it, and we were just happy to be a part of it. So.
Do you think it's going to be a very successful campaign in regards to you getting new business in the end from locally, nationally, bringing in some clients that you may have not gotten before?
Well, I think it does show our social media thirst, and our thirst to be a part of what new media is becoming. If there's clients out there that want to be a part of that, I think that we've kind of proven that we can play in that game. We'll just have to see. I think all clients are trying to figure out what to do with social media, how much of their budget do they put into it, and really what are the metrics and return on investment that they get from that. For us, this part of Current TV's cattle call really was, they wanted the agency that would do something that would show really good creative and even controversial creative. And I think that's why everyone was really excited, because in 2009 and 2010, I think a lot of clients are moving back towards more promotional stuff, more price-driven advertising, and a lot of agencies are really thirsty for clients that want to do something controversial, that want to do something different.
Well, I wanted to do two things. First, comment on that creative. I did see what I thought was a bunch of creative that was created out of that, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good stuff. And second, I wanted to thank you for coming on the show. We've got to wrap it up. So thanks a lot, Griffin. You were a great guest, and I'm happy that 22squared is been able to make this footprint for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
And, we need to thank our sponsors, obviously, Tampa Digital Studios, TBT, Barefoot Wine and Bubblies, and Gasper's Grotto. Thanks, guys.